everyone, Mel and Dan from adventuresofmel.com.
Hello.
And tonight we're going to be showing you how to make Instant Pot vegetable soup for a quick and easy weeknight meal. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to share out that we're live quick, and we're going to go ahead and get started with the recipe. So if you guys have any questions, be sure to add a comment and let us know.
I will give a quick rundown of the ingredients of this real quick. So behind me here I've got 4 cups of beef broth. You make it however you want, whether it's bouillon or roasting bones or... No, it's okay. So I've got half a large onion, 2 stalks of celery, we got 6 carrots that we're going to peel and chop. I've got, you're going to want 12 ounces of green beans, 12 ounces of corn, 12 ounces of peas, and we like to put okra in, so we're going to do 12 ounces of okra too. So I usually buy the big 24-ounce packs usually and then use it twice. So, trying to think what else we got here. I think that's it. Isn't it?
I think so.
So usually when we're putting a lot of these vegetables in like this, we don't season it with any salt and pepper till afterwards. So we try to let the natural flavors of the vegetables come through. And every time we've made this, it's worked really well like that. So, so I guess we'll go over the Instant Pot settings a little bit later when we start adding things in.
Yeah, and if you guys click anywhere on the video picture, it'll bring up the caption, and that has the recipe link in it, so that you can also go print the recipe. But comment and let us know where you're from or what you're up to tonight. What are you... Yeah, comment and let us know. What's your favorite flavor of soup? Do you like vegetable soup, and what do you like to have with vegetable soup? Do you pair it with anything like grilled cheese or anything like that?
So for this, we're going straight vegetables. You could change it up a little bit and add some beef or some chicken if you want. You could do a slow cook. This could be a slow cooker recipe. We like to use the Instant Pot. Put it under pressure. It seems to bring out the flavors a little bit. Keeps the vegetables from getting extremely mushy, and it also only takes like 30 minutes of cook time once it comes up to pressure. So it comes out a little easier. So I guess we'll go ahead and get started here. You got the carrots?
Yep, I'm getting the carrots.
I'll get after this onion here.
And you know, if you don't want beef broth, if maybe you're a vegetarian, you could always use a vegetable stock or a vegetable broth. That would work too.
So I'm going to mince up this onion pretty fine.
And I'm just going to peel the carrots, and then I'm going to cut them into small rounds.
I'm going to beat you.
Oh, it's like, what are you talking about?
The onion. I'm going to beat you getting the onion chopped up
Yeah,
before you get the carrots done.
You caught me off guard. Oh my word. Choice of words, honey. Choice of words.
I was trying to make it a competition.
You say that while you have the cleaver in your hand.
I'm sure someone's died by peeler before. The thing's actually pretty sharp.
Yeah, it is. I've actually cut myself with it before. So. It's not hard for me.
This isn't a cleaver.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. It's a
Okay,
Chinese
what is it?
vegetable slicer.
Oh, okay.
Chinese chef's knife is what it goes by. There's another name for it, but I like to call it Bob.
Alright.
So after you get these nice and finely minced, then I'll work on to the celery. Did you want that in just half moons, or did you want to?
Yeah, that's fine. It doesn't matter. You can chop it as fine or as thick as you want it. I just usually chop it into half moon shapes or, yeah, whatever.
So I'm going to slice it down the middle on each one of these. And then try to keep them as thin as possible as I go to cut.
I like this recipe because it's easy. It requires a little bit of chopping. I mean, really, you could use all frozen vegetables and not have to chop at all. I like chopping and I like having some fresh vegetables in it. But I like this recipe because it's healthy and it's pretty easy for a weeknight meal. And then we usually have leftovers too, so we can have it for lunch the next day. So that makes it nice.
So you end up with little half moons. They don't really look like moons, but they're half a normal moon of celery.
Okay. I'm going to check and see if we have any questions. Let's see. Got quite a few people tonight. Penny says, hey. Hi, Penny.
Hey, Penny.
Becky says, hi from Canada, from Ontario.
Hi, Becky.
Robin says, hi, checking in from Anaheim. Nancy
Robin.
from Ohio.
Nancy's here.
And then Robin says, I love vegetable soup. Chicken noodles my absolute favorite though. I love them both.
Melissa's with us too.
Yeah, Melissa,
Heather.
yay! She says she's been craving beefy vegetable soup.
Well, she should hurry up and get over here.
Another thing you can add to this soup is you can add pasta to it. I know we used to eat the canned soups and they have the little alphabet pieces in them. So you can add a little bit of pasta to it too if you want to, if you like that in your soup. You might want to add just a little bit more liquid to go with it though.
I don't like this cutting board.
So what do you guys like to pair with your soup? I know we like to pair biscuits. Sometimes if we have dinner rolls, Jacob he makes sourdough all the time, so that's always a good pairing with it. And I like grilled cheese. I like to dip it in, and sometimes even just sliced cheddar cheese, just dipping it in. It's so good. So what do you guys like to pair with your soup? What is another thing that brings you comfort when you're having soup?
I just like soup by itself sometimes.
I do too. I usually like cheese or something with it though, crackers even.
With the vegetables, I just really like the vegetables.
Yeah, they really do give it a lot of flavor. It's amazing how you don't really need any seasonings for this because the vegetables and the beef broth pretty much do all of the seasoning for you. I don't even think we salted it
No,
when we made it last time.
it doesn't. With the beef broth, it doesn't turn out the prettiest. It's, you know, the vegetables kind of take on darker appearance, but I don't care about pretty food. I care about delicious food. And so I guess, let's see.
Oh,
I forgot to silence my phone. So that's about half that bag. So again, 12 ounces of peas. 12 ounces of green beans. And then on the corn, you're going to want about 12 ounces. So usually to find 12 ounces, I just kind of squeeze the bag in half.
We're going to do 12 ounces of okra. It's about half the bag.
You can find the height of the bag and kind of squeeze it. And And you go. Now this fills up the Instant Pot almost up to, on this 6 quart, this recipe will fill it up almost to max.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, this is the 6 quart. I know we get asked that a lot after the show.
And then the 4 cups of liquid here will pretty much bring it up to pretty close to the top there too.
Yep. And it's not going to be full of liquid, but it will make its own liquid as it cooks. So you are all good. I know it looks like a lot of vegetables.
It is a lot of vegetables.
It is a lot of vegetables.
But once it cooks down though a little bit too, it comes out really nice.
Yeah. Alright. You want to put the lid on?
If you want to. Are we all ready?
I think so. I think that's it.
So
This.
you put the lid on and latch it, and on this specific recipe, what you want to do is you know, start with your soup setting, and cancel it first. But so depending on if I'm going to eat this pretty close to after we're done, then I won't let it stay warm. But if you're gonna, you know, put this in at lunch or something and want to let it cook out through the day a little bit slower, you can do that as well. Or, you know, if you know like you're gonna, you know, it's gonna get done 30 minutes to an hour beforehand, you can leave the keep warm function on. I had a lot of people ask about this keep warm function. Almost all these, I think all these presettings have it. So like when you first kick on the button, you can see down here at the bottom, the little light comes on to keep warm. If you hit that button again, that little light goes off. So for this recipe, I'm going to run it for 30 minutes and take the keep warm function off. So I hit soup twice, set my timer for 30 minutes, and then let it come on. And what that does is when you're done, it will turn, when it turns off after that 30 minutes of pressure, it will actually shut off the power to it. So it won't continuously keep the food warm. So what that does is allow it to release a little quicker as well. Because in this recipe, you don't want it to boil out over since it's so close. So you really want to let this natural release. So by turning that keep warm function off, it'll release in 5 or 10 minutes. Then you can stir it and enjoy it. So if you're going to, you know, if it's going to be sitting for a little bit before you eat it, or if you know, there's lots of reasons why you'd let it set, but leave that keep warm function on so that it continuously keeps the food, you know, at above the temperature where bacteria will grow. So that's a lot of information.
I know. A lot of information. Let's see if anybody has any questions. Everybody's giving suggestions as to what they like with their soup.
What we got?
Kimberly says hi from North Carolina.
Garlic bread. Bread is one of my weaknesses. I love bread. I'm with our son making the, you know, I can't eat very much bread. I got to take it very easy. So bread has always been my weakness. So like a cheesy garlic bread would be delicious.
That would be good. Penny says, South Carolina here, waiting on this horrible hurricane. We hope you stay safe, Penny. We really do. We hope that any of our viewers who are in the path of that hurricane stay safe.
Hopefully it just turns and goes out in the ocean.
I hope it, yeah.
I don't think that's going to
I
happen
don't think so either, but.
So.
Let's see. Nancy says she can't eat soup by itself. See? I'm not alone. I have to have at least some sliced cheddar cheese.
I'm perfectly fine with just soup.
Cornbread. Yeah, Vicky, cornbread is really good. I was just saying before the show that I needed to create a cornbread recipe because I have biscuits, now I need cornbread so we can pair it with all the soups. Grilled cheese. And Nancy says, good to know about the Instant Pot feature.
So, I got you a dish of, there's all these recipes we usually make it twice, so we have something to show you in case, unless it's something quick to cook, but you don't want to sit here with me babbling for 30 minutes waiting for that to cook. We tried that once and it didn't go well. But, so this is, I mean, it comes out, I mean, you still got a lot of, you know, all your vegetables still have a lot of color. That broth kind of darkens things up, but it really does get delicious. So, yeah. I mean, the vegetables seem to stay intact pretty well. The carrots are nice. You know, that stuff doesn't get really mushy. This was frozen, so it got a little bit mushy when things froze. But
Yeah.
And that's, if you do make a big pot of this like this, you can freeze it.
Yes.
It freezes really well.
That is the nice thing.
You can pop it back in the Instant Pot. Like if you freeze it in a round dish or something, it'll fit in the Instant Pot. You throw it in the Instant Pot, half a cup of water, and put it on for 5 minutes under manual pressure, and let it run, and come in and eat. So it
Quick
reheats
meal.
really well.
Quick meal.
So
Yeah, and it's when we ate it the first time, it reminded me a little bit of Campbell's vegetable soup, only without the pasta. I mean, and a little bit. I thought it had more flavor too, but
yeah, I think
that's
it's
what it
better.
reminded me
It
of.
has that. It did remind me of that
Yeah.
too. It's been a while since I've had Campbell's vegetable soup,
Me
but I'm gonna
too.
try some.
Still tastes good even after being frozen.
Still tastes delicious. It is. It really. I really like this because it brings out the flavor of the vegetables. I really
Yeah.
like tasting the different vegetables, and I can taste the okra and the carrots and the green beans, and you could add lima beans to this too.
Yes, we were going to do that and we forgot it in the original recipe, but that is an option.
There's a lot of things you could add to it.
And
You could put potatoes.
yeah, you can put potatoes.
I think the
Potatoes.
Campbell's vegetable soup usually has potatoes in it, doesn't it?
I think so, yeah, and pasta. The little alphabet.
Well, they make it without
Pastas.
pasta too.
Yeah,
I
they
think.
do make one
And then
without
just
that.
the vegetable soup.
And they make it with beef and without the beef.
We need to get some little pastas that I can spell my name with and put it on.
But yeah, and like I said, if you click on the video picture, the caption will come up and the recipe link is right there. And I've also, in the recipe, I give you different tips and tricks for the recipe, things you can do, alternative options. So that might be something you want to check out. But let's see if anybody else has any questions. Let's see. Andrea says, this looks so easy. I'm a big fan. As a working mom and wife, I can definitely use this recipe. Definitely.
Melissa says to save our scraps to make broth in the future.
Hey, yeah.
Really isn't. I mean, I guess
Yeah.
we got vegetable peelings and a couple little end pieces of carrots, but there's really, since we got everything frozen, it doesn't leave a whole lot of scraps to make broth from.
And I've got
Well, we
an
could-
ant. Why is there an ant on me?
Maybe you're sweet.
So, and for the beef broth too, you can save your broth from a roast that you cooked, or you can use a beef base. We used a beef base because we didn't have any broth on hand, but
Threw them on the counter.
I know, man. Let's see. We have an ant problem right now. That's so fun.
You could use chicken too. I mean, you wouldn't have to use beef. You could even use a vegetable broth.
Oh, Jackie says, what setting if you wanted to add meat?
And you could still, I mean, you wouldn't have to change any settings. You could still do soup in 30 minutes. So, I mean, honestly, you could probably cook just the vegetables in 10 minutes. So, I mean, I've always, it's hard for me to get used to cooking things under pressure, taking shorter time. So, I usually, my thoughts are, if things are frozen, if you want to add some meat, I try to put, when we make these and add these times like this, we try to put the highest time so that, like if you were to put meat to it, it would still work. So you wouldn't come, most meats, unless it's frozen, will cook within 10-15 minutes too. So you definitely, I mean, you could cut the time down, but I don't know, it's worked well on 30. I mean, most everything I've cooked is like 20-30 minutes, and it works really well. But meat would have no problem cooking in that time, even, depending on how much you put in. If you put like a huge, frozen roast in with all the water and stuff like that, it
Yeah.
might not. But if you took your meat, like, if you got steak or hamburger or anything like that, and, cut it up and, keep the, one thing, that I try to do when I cook these things is keep everything in the same size. So like, my corn is small. The only thing we didn't is the carrots on this. Just carrots can be a pain to cut, so we don't do it. But, and they, like the green beans, they come pre-cut. But if you keep your meat the same technical size, it'll cook just as easily as the vegetables.
Yeah, and the carrots, they really, I mean, they're completely soft, even though they're bigger. So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
they just mush in your fingers, and then you can eat them.
So Robin says, looks tasty. Thanks so much. And Jackie says, thank you. And Kristen's here. Hi, Kristen. All right. Well, Well, if you guys have any questions, be sure to put them in the comments. We'll be monitoring through the night, and we'll answer anything as it comes up. If you think of anything afterward, and again, you can print the recipe.
So we really love having you guys with us and enjoy conversating with you afterwards as well. So join us next week. And she'll be on Monday, and then we'll be back at our normally scheduled time Thursday night. So
okay. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you guys next week. Have a